All right. So finally we're doing a gear talk. I'm Christer Kopala. I'm from Northern Norway. I'm 32 years old. I've been snowboarding since I was 5, so it's been quite a while, but I didn't start going into the mountains until 7 years ago, around. Yes, 7-ish years ago. That's when I got my first splitboard. Today I'm gonna talk a little about my gear, what I use. I am a hard boot snowboarder. Here's the gear I use: ice axes, alf tribs, GoPros, everything. So yeah, I'll try to say why I use the things I use, because there's a lot of people asking what I use and why. So I started splitboarding. I had regular soft boots. I've always been into soft boots. It's super nice, but my ankles started to hurt. My knees was hurting, my hip, I had a lot of lower back pain. And since I was walking a lot, because I'm from Northern Norway, I ski a lot in the Lyngen Alps and we tour all the time. So on a good season I would do 100,000 verts plus, and I just felt like my ankles were getting really beaten up by all the traversing. And so I started out trying a lot of different types. First I had the Salomon, I think is it called X-Alp? I'm not sure, like it's been a while. But I broke them. I had some Fisher shoes. I modified them a little bit. I broke them. I had the 3 or 4 different pairs of backlands. I've pretty much tried everything and broken them all. And I must say I didn't like the feeling of riding, because it's still a ski boot and not a snowboard boot. Like it's just a lightweight rando ski boot modified with a spring in the back, or someone is drilling holes to get more lateral flex. So when Hampus contacted me saying he and his friend Tal was designing the key equipment boots, I was really keen to try them. For me it feels like a soft boot in a hard shell. It's not a ski boot, like the upper cuff made from the bottom up to be like a snowboard boot, soft boot. I guess like the mold is maybe from a ski boot, but the dampening and everything in the sole is quite different from anything else I've tried, like being on choppy, hard terrain. The shoe really absorbs all the punishment of the foot, or how to say it, but I remember the first time I tried it. I am a 28.5 Mondo size, and I got the 28.5. I put my foot into it and I was like, no way, it's too tight. But then I talked to Hampus and he said like, oh, you have to have it heat molded, and I really recommend that. If you buy this, it might feel a bit tight at first, but if you heat mold it and you modify the inner boot, it should fit really well. Like I also got the custom insoles. The difference I think was going from the ski boot to this one was like the shell. I think this has a bit thicker shell, or at least a wider toe box, and I was really struggling with cold feet. For me, getting these boots was just a game changer. I was sweating on my feet now, and now before I was just super cold, but now I'm comfy, warm. Yeah, it was just it was a whole new world for me getting these boots. And also with the custom insole, like this is the one from Sidas with the merino wool. It's really warm. It doesn't stink too much either after using it a long time. And also like the big difference is from a regular ski boot to these boots, it's the lateral flex. Like when you're riding, at least I like to like bend my knees when putting pressure down to my board. And so with the lower cuff, you get a lot of lateral flex with these boots. The power strap really keeps your ankle in place. I really like my ankle to be stuck. So I tightened this quite hard. I get a lot of questions about getting snow into the Velcro, but for me it hasn't been a problem. Try to keep it clean before strapping in and removing all the snow. The forward lean or the backward lean on these are quite nice. It's just this one in the back here. There's some micro adjustment on the link or the lever itself, if you want it a bit higher or if you want it a bit more forward lean. I like my forward lean. Like, people often ask me, why do you do this? But for me it's just a matter of how much time I spend walking. And people often ask me like, oh, what's the weight difference and everything, but I don't think it's a weight difference at all. They weigh as much as a soft boot. But of course, if you get the ski boots, the really light ones, I've seen people ride the Scarpa Alien ones. Of course, they will be lightweight, but the riding feeling will not be the same at all. You will have more like a robot feeling, and that's what I felt like with the springs and with the higher cuff. My knees would just be stuck and not allowing too much lateral flex. So yeah, I'm really happy with the Key Equipment boots. I've been riding them for a couple of seasons now. The sole is really good. It's super warm. You can get it as stiff as you want or as soft as you want. You can change the tongue. That's also one thing with these boots. If something breaks, you don't have to buy a brand new boot because everything can be switched out. So if the Velcro is getting worn out, you can just buy a new Velcro. If the tongue is getting soft, you can buy a new tongue. The people I talk to, and I really encourage them to try these out because it's a snowboard boot. It's not a ski boot. I guess that's about it. Maybe, probably forgot something, but if something, I'll make a new one where we go into really details. And if you wonder about something, ask in the comments. And if I get a lot of the same questions, we're gonna make a new one. I'll put them to the side and we can talk a little bit about the board. The board I'm using is a Furberg 170 Big Mountain, it's called. Gotta have the coffee. It looks like this. This is the new Furberg Big Mountain. Before, this model was called Freeride, but the Freeride now is the one I have in the back here. It is a bit shorter. It's a bit wider. It has shorter turning radius. I think the turning radius on this one is 14 meters. The waist width is 27.4 centimeters. And for me, that's like the big thing. I felt for so long that I couldn't find a big enough board with wide enough waist and like a board that will really handle a lot of speed. So when I got to try out the Furberg, it was a perfect match. My stance is not the regular duck stance. I'm a +9 on the back foot and a +24 on my front foot. I'm around 56 centimeters wide in the stance, so it's not that wide. For me, it's just, I've been riding plus for a couple of seasons, and I just feel like my hip rotation gets way better than riding. So like when going fast, for example, my upper body will be like this instead of like having the duck stance and like this. And for me, it's just been what I've been used to, and it's working really good for me. I've tried to do a bit of modifying after my friend Jussi told me about what he would do when he was competing in border cross. He would have his front foot a bit towards the heel edge and the front foot a bit towards the toe edge. So he would get even more rotation in the hip, and he could really like put pressure on the toe edge or heel edge just by doing this with his toes. So I've experimented a bit with that, and I must say it's working out really good. More coffee. And so I should say, like, for a reference, this board is 170. I am a tall guy. I'm 194 centimeters tall. I'm 90 kilos, 28.5 shoe size. So when I start to go fast, it kind of goes really fast. And that's when I need the board. The board for it to handle the speed. I've also liked the boots. I've tried a lot of different bindings. I've tried Spark. I've broken a couple of Sparks. They worked really good, but for me, they didn't handle the pressure. Same with the Karakoram ones. They couldn't handle the pressure. I took a lot of big falls broke them. But the ones I've been using is the Phantom ones. I've had them for 4 years. They're working out perfect for me. They come with the canted angle. You can have the Spark canted pucks, for example, or Karakorum is also making them canted just to have the knees come a bit closer together. But what I really like about these are they're so robust. They will not fail on you. I've had big crashes on these and they haven't popped out, they haven't been bent, they haven't broken. They just keep on deliver. And I think the big difference between this and the Spark, for example, is this one in the back here. This one is pretty thin compared to the one Spark has. The one Spark has is a bit thicker, and I think that's why it doesn't allow you to have as much lateral flex as you can with this. And if you put a lot of pressure in the lateral direction, the power just goes a bit different down to the board. And that's what I think it causes them to bend or break. So yeah, these are the bindings I'm using. I'm also having a full setup from Phantom. I'm using the solo cleats, I think they're called. Like it's set with the angle already. So I have 24 in the front. I have 9 in the back. Plus I have their heel risers. I took away the biggest one. I don't like to walk really steep on the skin track. I have the Phantom toe piece. It's not the lightest one on the market, but it's really robust. And I really like the small thing they have here in the front. Like I'll put it up to the camera so you can see. I really like this little thing because you put your toe here, you just push down and it will be on the right spot. Imagine if I try this now and I fail, damn. So I just go here, push it, shoop. Boom, first try. And that's how it is on the skin track as well, it feels like. But the big difference for me was this coffee. I'm kidding. But the big difference was when I started with Furberg, they didn't have the floorboard technology. And so what is the floorboard technology? So when you lay a floor, you have the one piece is like this and the other piece is like this. And so you put them together and they lock. And that's what Furberg made. So in the middle, from your back foot to your front foot, in between here, you have a steel edge. So this steel edge goes into this one. Perfect fit, boom. And it really locks the board together. It doesn't flex. So if you have your split board, you often can do a bit like this. And you have space in between the skis, but with the Furberg you can't. And basically it rides like a solid. So now I don't have the bindings on or whatever. I'm trying to twist it. Doesn't like, I can of course take off this one just to like, so you will be able to do like this, but you just can't. And that's one thing I would love to see more of the splitboarding brands make it, because it rides like a solid. It's such a huge difference. It keeps the flex in the board, the stiffness, everything. And like I said, the free ride, it's a bit different. It has a shorter turning radius. It is wider. It's a bit different shape. If you don't like the big mountain, which is a bit harder to turn, you would like some more playful board, I think this is a good one for you. And also if you're a big guy like me with I don't have really big shoes, but people with big shoes, you should try to get your hands on these. So just a small recap. Christer, what kind of gear do you use? Phantom bindings with the hardware, key equipment boots, and we have the Furberg. And behind me we have a little bit of what I carry around in the mountain. It's from ropes, ice axes, crampons, harness, helmet, auftrips, GoPro, goggles, transceiver, skins, poles, shovel, first aid. I'll just start over here. This is my go-to ice axis. It's the Petzl Gully. I've climbed some stuff with them, but not harder stuff. To the rope, this is the Petzl Radline, static one. If I'm not sure about the conditions, I'll bring this to check the snow, or if it's rappel. I have a couple of different crampons. Petzl Irvis Hybrid, I think. It's with the steel front and the alu back. These are the fully automatic. They're pretty lightweight. You can easily climb some ice or rocks or whatever with them with the steel front. It doesn't get worn out too fast. So have the Petzl altitude harness, lightweight ski mountaineering harness for walking on glaciers or doing rappels, not to climb too much with and taking big falls. The GoPros I use, I have the GoPro 12 and I have the GoPro Max. This is a good one. This is the good one. Good stuff. It's the Auftrib plates. This is what we use when we climb couloirs in really deep snow. It keeps you floating, saves energy for when you're on top and you can really push on the way down. I like these ones because you take on your crampons first and then you take on the plates. So if you come to a place where you might need to climb something, or if it's really icy, you don't have to take off everything and then on with the crampons. Then you just take off this one. So your boot is in there and you're climbing the couloir. Recommend. Helmet, I use Julbo's. The Peak is really lightweight. It packs really lightweight in the backpack. Goggles, we had a project with Julbo, the Topside Boys goggle. We have the Lyngen Alps on the inside here. We have Nikolai, we have me, we have Jonas, we have a drone. We have some power lines because that's what I do in the summer. I build power lines. We have some a vent system. So I come down, I'm starting to get a little bit of sweat. Yeah, so I just take out the vents, boom. Fresh air coming in, clearing away all the fog on the inside. So if you have the chance, they only produced 400 of these. You better get one. The transceiver, Bodyvox S from a Mammoth. I'm really happy. Easy to use, goes well in my pocket. Shovel, big shovel type of guy. It's called Alligator Pro Light. Also, this is one thing I learned from a friend of mine, Asbjørn. If it's really deep, take out the shovel like this, use it as an ice axe, pull yourself. I've tried it, it works. The pole, this is the 320. This setup here, it weighs a lot. I bet you I could shave off a couple of hundred grams easy just having a different shovel and everything. But when I'm out there, if something happens to someone, I want to have the best tools to be able to dig them out. I almost forgot my skins. It's called Kula. It has the Furberg logo also. Boom. I've had these for I've had these for some seasons now, and I haven't changed the glue on them at all. They stick really good. They can easily handle 4 to 5 different rounds going up and down. It's no problem. The poles, I'm on the Black Diamond. I haven't had any problems with them yet. I have a first aid kit. Like if someone were to start bleeding really good, I have something for stopping the bleeding. I have a lot of tape. I have some really strong painkillers. And I also have a big garbage bag. If someone is getting cold and I need to keep them warm, I'll just cut a hole in the bottom of the garbage bag, put it over them, over their head. And the backpack I'm using, it's the Rab Chroma 38. Pocket in the front for the shovel, the probe, everything. It has also a big pocket here for storage. You can go into the main apartment from the top. It has a roll top, or you can come in from the back. I think it's really nice if you're gonna pack your bag really good. You can pack it this way and you organize everything really good. This backpack has a lot of cool features. It weighs around 1200 grams, I think. It's a bit much, but it's super solid. It takes a beating and you can pack a lot of stuff into it. I've gone on like a multi-day trip with this backpack. I've fitted my sleeping bag, sleeping mat, food, the jet boil, everything, skins, down jacket, down pants. Yeah, I'm super happy. There's a room for 1 ice axe. I also use 2 ice axes here sometimes. If not, I'll just put it into the avalanche pocket. It has this nice little pocket here on the side. This is where I keep my GoPro or ski straps or sunscreen or my watch. So yeah, pretty happy. So I probably forgot something. what shall I do? This is the things I use, and if you have any more questions, write it in the comments.